We have literally come to our 40th episode of Future Focus Success for All Students. We've been all across the country. I mean, I think we were in Florida last week. Before that, we were in New Jersey. Before that, we were in Phoenix. Folks, we've been in Oregon. We've been all over the place, really talking to educators all across the country about future focus initiatives in their district. And we've got a treat for you today. I'm telling you, we've got a treat for you today. We have Dr. Latasha Buck. She's executive director of the Virtual Academy and Educational Options in LA Unified. And she's going to really be talking with us about the amazing work that they're doing out there. And folks, everyone knows, within the LA area, we've had the LA fires in the last couple of months. And Latasha is really going to be talking with us about how do you continue to work through those future focus initiatives in the midst of crisis. And then the second episode, what we're going to be doing is she's going to be talking with us is, okay, how do you build? How do you bring a team together and build for future focus initiatives? And then the last episode, we're going to be talking about, okay, these are some things that she's done well, but this is some advice that Dr. Buck will actually give to you about steps of building strong teams. So, Latasha, thank you so much for participating in our podcast this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Robert. I appreciate the opportunity.
Definitely. The first question, first of all, the importance. I think you've got an amazing narrative here because usually, when we talk on our podcast, individuals are talking about crisis, like we getting children back in school because of chronic absenteeism is a crisis in some districts. Some folks talk about crisis as in rigor and the level of rigor. But in about the last couple of maybe the last month 6 weeks, you guys have seen a crisis in the Los Angeles Unified District. Can you talk with us? Give us your narrative around that crisis, in how you've dealt with those challenges, and then how have you facilitated those future focus initiatives in spite of crisis?
Yes, thank you, Robert. Yes, it has been a very challenging time here in Los Angeles, starting the year coming back, right? January 6th was when we came back from winter break. And there we are, like just days later, with all of the fires that consumed several areas of the Los Angeles County area. Just to give people an understanding, Los Angeles Unified School District is around 700 square miles. We have a huge, footprint on, LA County and other areas. And when you talk about something like a fire, that, is unfortunately consumed schools and communities, the impact is beyond what we could have imagined. Um, our families and our students' families were affected, our teachers and staff were affected, and obviously all of us who are empathetic to the challenges, are affected. And so, the school district did close for a couple of days as a result of the fires, as in order to address the needs appropriately and being able to respond. Reopening schools for those schools that were, truly damaged by the fires. And so, as a district, I think everyone rallied around and understood that when we came back to school, school really is the safest place for students to be, right? This is where not only do they get their education, but for some of our families, for our students, this is where they get their meals. This is where they have the adult that they can connect with. This is where they can get additional resources and support, social emotional support. And so all of that was there, and it was really important that the district, return and be able to try to return to some normalcy, but while also understanding the challenges that everyone is dealing with and providing grace. So I would say that, for us, in my position, I oversee our virtual academy and educational options schools, which encompasses 6 virtual academies that are independent study programs. We have a traditional independent study program. We have 5 opportunity schools, 8 community day schools, and 39 continuation high schools. So a total of about 10 to 11,000 students in total that we see in our network spread across the entire district. And while many of our schools technically were not impacted, obviously the families were some families being displaced. And so it was really important that when we reopened, that the principals provided that warm, welcoming environment, made sure to check on everyone, right? How are you doing?
Right.
Connecting with them. And that is the advantage of many of our schools is they are small. Everyone knows your name, right? Like that old cheap
Right.
sitcom.
That's it. That's it.
From the office manager to the principal to the custodian. So
Right.
it was really important that that connection was there for families. And part of, I think, for children and students is having that routine, right?
Right.
And it brings comfort when you know that you can
Mhm.
count on something, right?
Right.
With our schools reopening and our principals being there and trying to get back to business, I think that brings a sense of comfort to students to know, okay, I'm back where I belong. I can get back to doing business.
Definitely, definitely. One thing that, as you begin to speak, I think you said the word family. I think I counted that about 4 times, right? And when crisis happens, that's when we come together as a family, right? We make sure that each, whether it's the custodians, everyone is taken care of, get the children back in, get those children what they need to actually be successful, right? So when you brought those children back inside of the schools back to really well virtual academies to get them back connected. What are some other opportunities, maybe services that you provided those students just based on their experiences?
Well, our district did a phenomenal job in putting together resources from donations throughout the community in LA, for families that needed housing resources or just clothing resources, right? All of that was available to all of our families throughout LAUSD that was affected by these fires. For those schools, like I said, that were drastically damaged and where students couldn't return to those schools, the district worked quickly to reopen or redirect students to other school locations where they could have a place, and had partnership with local vendors to come in and set up those classrooms and make them look really brand new and welcoming.
That's it.
um, and
Perfect.
so those are, I think with our district being the second largest school district in the nation,
Right.
those partnerships have already existed, and everyone
Mhm.
stepped up to really make sure that the students and families of our district got what they needed in a timely manner. Even
Definitely.
in our district, we, did type of like fundraising for our own employees, who were impacted to make sure that
Definitely.
they knew that they were taken care of. So it's just, I think, as a district as large as ours, with over 400,000 students and, I can't even tell you how many thousands of employees. It's just
Right.
really important to be able to count on our partners in the communities to support.
Definitely. And you said that, you have one of the largest, or you work in one of the largest school districts in the country, but then when crisis happens, you're still able to come down almost to the family concept within the school to take care of your children using those partners, using the individuals inside the school. And as we think about strategies, right, and around crisis particularly, it is extremely important. And you said this, you said the word that, there was fast response, right? There was quick response to ensuring that children got what they needed when they needed and the extended support around that work. Folks, some great strategies there, okay? Natasha, she's going to be at the NDPC conference, right? No, as a matter of fact, she didn't know that until I just said it, right? But when we're talking about someone to really give you some amazing strategies around crisis, major strategies around what future focus options look like for all students, she's doing some amazing work there, folks. In October 12th through the 15th, we're going to be in Orlando really talking about what do future focus strategies look like for all children. And this is a narrative. This is a great story because how do you continue that work in a positive way when there's crisis? What were those strategies? And then after that, then how then do you continue with a high level of rigor? Folks, we're going to be in Orlando. We're looking forward to actually seeing you there. Latasha, thank you so much for really giving your perspective. A lot of the times we meet with districts all across the country, but you guys are one of the largest districts in the country. And for you to really talk about how we're a large district, but we come together in for all of our children in a fast response to get those children what they need when they need, get them back inside those classrooms and get them ready for another level of rigor, right? So, folks, thanks a bunch for participating in our next episode. What we're going to be talking about is listen, we know that we've had some great success there. But Latasha's going to be talking with us about, okay, like how do you bring all this stuff together, right? Like how do you build strong teams? How do you ensure that this is successful? Because we know, folks, it's great to say a success story, but we know that building a team takes thousands of hours of and collaboration and time. So come back to our second episode. We're going to be talking about the great team that Latasha has built inside of LA Unified. But Latasha, thanks a bunch for being a part of the first episode. Again, she didn't know she was coming to NDPC until this morning. But hey, we're looking forward to the next
I'm there. I'm
episode. And
there.
folks, you make sure you connect with us.
All right.
All righty.